Do you smell that? Is that peak? What's up, guys? That guy with a pencil here. Fun fact, I do it too. Have it on me and keep it on me at all times. Yeah, fun fact. You're like, you do know what time it is, don't you? Curled. The very same second before I even said it, my toes are curled up, and I'm excited. So let's not waste any more time. Let's hop right into 105. 100? Yeah, 105 of Kagurabachi. Oh, don't drink water before you start recording, kids. It will almost choke you. Oh, jeez. I'm sorry. Oh, okay. Okay. Darn. You know what, though? I'll give... I'm sorry. That wasn't... This is not staged. Like, I accidentally inhaled some water. I was literally just drinking water while I was recording. But, that being said, it is interesting. And it goes to show why Chihiro still has a long way to go. Because upon seeing Yura burn, well, I guess he's not burning anymore, but basically seeing this flower spout? I guess that kind of still works? Sprout out of Yura. Look who reacts. Look who was the one who came in and was like, nope, gotta boom this man immediately. It was not Chihiro, who has been in the game for a bit now, but still doesn't have the experience that Samura does. The very second that this begins to happen, this rise that happened in the last chapter, while Chihiro's and sweating and looking on confused, Samura's like, gotta go. Like, I don't think he heard, like, yo, give me your body and let me cook. And, like, obviously, I don't think he heard that. But he's like, and remember, Samura had a hole in him last we saw him. Like, he was legit gored by, what, was it the dragonfly that, like, chunked his whole body? Brody healed that up since this was like, no, I must boom him now. Which I still think is good. But at the same time, I'm scared. I've seen a lot of people say, oh, Samura's fried. Samura's cooked. Samura's finished. I don't want that. I don't, and like, it really depends on how long you think Kagurabachi is going to be. It's not even just that I don't want that. I just don't think it even makes sense at this point. Like, genuinely thinking about it. If Akimoto truly does? What does that word mean? If Akimoto truly becomes an ally to Yura and Hishaku, or even if, like, let's say we go with the original idea, right? We'll assume Akimoto's a liar and he's not going to give Yura's body back, which I think is, I doubt that. I don't know. For some reason, I really do trust Akimoto. He's a man of his word. At least from what little we've seen, he seemed like a man of his word. But, assuming we go with the original setup, right? Where it's the Hishaku, or I suppose the remainder of it, if Akimoto permanently takes over Yura's body, right? So it's the remainder of the Hishaku, and Akimoto, and Chihiro and crew. I don't think, even if we were to get the other two Enchanted Blade wielders back with their respective blades, with just Chihiro, Hirohiko presumably still wielding a somehow recovered Komayuri, and Samura, I just don't really see them winning against Akimoto, even if they were to team with the Ishaku. Or I suppose in, like, this hypothetical timeline they'll run into the, I just don't see them winning. Akimoto's just way too, like, knowing that Samura got stronger after the 18 years post the Seitei War is enough for me to know that if Akimoto truly manages to get his body back and starts, or to get freedom and get his hands on the Magatsume, the way he's been hyped, the way he's been glazed, so, like, there's no way we win without Samura. So I'm hoping that everybody and their mama who's been calling for Samura to get Samura gone is wrong. But at the same time, with him reacting first, he may be incidentally fried. Let's see. He never drew it, of course. Only the Swordmaster himself can draw it. I wish he was still called the Sword Saint, because, like, they're all sword masters technically, but like it sounds so vague. Like, I get it, it's technically Kensei, which translates to Sword Saint, but they do translate it as Sword Master. But, like, I read naturally first, and I'm trying to balance it out, but I'm trying to read and then not look forward and keep reading. It's been a problem of mine, so, like, I'm starting to do it slowly, but because of that, I just read Sword Master when I prefer Sword Saint. But let's see. You know, my senses are warning me. He's like, wait a second. Like, I love that, though. I love when, I don't know, something about, like, instincts or senses, or, like, something more fundamental and primordial. As what's cool as the fact that we as humans have active thought is, there's something that's always more intense when it's, like, oh no, I'm not even logically thinking this. Every fiber of my being is like, I have to stop this now. I have to stop this now. But let's see. Okay. Is he gonna like try to decapitate you? Or let's see. Oh wait, never mind. I thought it had stopped burning. Alright, I guess I understand why the flames weren't drawn this panel, because presumably we wouldn't be able to see Samura. But alright, let's see. Jeez, that man's burning alive! You know what though? One thing I do admit, and I'm glad that other people in the comments are talking about it of last review, I also am a little bit mixed on Yuri just being a guy. But like, that's I'm still more positive than I am negative. Like, I'm barely negative on it at all. But I do, like, now that it's hit me, now that I'm, like, off the insanity that was 104, I do think it is a kind of crazy. I don't know. Maybe because yours been defined to be an exception in so many ways, right? And I think it's because we still have so little context for the guy. Like, I think the reason it still is, like, a back part of my mind being like, you're being a guy, it's kind of like a weird narrative choice, even intently fits in the whole, like, you define your own story narrative, which is basically the overarching theme of Kagurabachi, right? Like, you write your own legacy, you write your own story, you choose how you are interpreted until you no longer can, and then your legacy needs to choose for you, right? That's what Chihiro's whole narrative is about. But, like, him being a nobody 18 years ago does race so... Like, 18 years is a long time, right? Like, it's a whole human lifespan. But, like, it is still crazy to think that he's just a dude. Just a dude. Like, living regular. Who then was just afflicted by the world that Kunishi Yorokuhiro created. Which I think is cool. Like, I think it is so... It's so cool, and it adds so many layers to the whole idea of, like, legacy and narrative. Well, you can definitely argue him being someone would have also added layers to it. I think I am still cool with it. I still just want more context, though. Like, now, with him being just a guy, I really do want to know, like, how on earth did he gather the Hishaku to her? How did he make the... Like, once again, just in 18 years. And I know it's so long. 18 years is such a long time. But, man, he's been, like, defined as, like, well, I mean, like, people are just born physically exceptional. Like, that is just the thing. And he was probably training all those years physically. But I don't know, man. Let's see. You know, this level of firepower. Still not enough. Like, and I wonder how much of that is a testament to the Magatsumi's healing. Oh, and a lot of people did explain the Magatsumi to me. Technically, it may be a case where the Magatsumi is still doing the life drain and restructuring thing, specifically only for Soga. Like, maybe one of the main reasons Soga's been alive all this time is because Yura is being rewritten to handle the blade, but he's also being rewritten to essentially match or become a copy of Soga, right? Like, it may literally, even if Soga stopped, like, the physical or mental encroachment, the blade is still rewriting him, because it only works for Soga. Sure, you can use it without being contracted to it, but that doesn't mean you're going to gain the full control of it. So, like, Soga may have been absorbing all, like, the life drain that's been happening around him, and it's not actually Yura, even though Yura is confirmed to get, like, physical buffs, like, healing buffs. So, I don't know, it's like, the Magatumi and how it functions is still a little bit weird, but I've seen explanations. I'm leaning with them, I'm rocking with them, but I'm assuming part of this resistance to the fire is legit just Yura's straight raw willpower, and also still weird physical attributes. Let's see. Oh? What happened to the ground? Oh, interesting. So he teleported him? I wonder well, I guess maybe because it was burning a hole in the ground, but, like, I do wonder why. So he lands on Yura, then he teleports him into the sky for some reason. Huh? Man. So much aura for this character, though. So much aura for this character who got a name, what? 5 chapters ago? Like, this is crazy. Let's see. Okay. Boom! Storm to 2 buildings? 2 for the price of 1? What's happening? Let's see. Interesting, though. He wasn't able to... I wonder, that's weird. Why didn't Samura decapitate him? And you'd be like, whoa. Pencil Man, isn't that a little bit dark? Yes, but, like, it wouldn't be Samura's first body, though. I just saw that he crashed in 4 layers of building. Yikers, bro. God, only crash. He's still going. But I'm shocked he didn't, like, even remove a limb. That may, once again, just be Yura's toughness. Or something, like, I don't know, that's weird. Or once again, it's probably the healing. It's probably the healing of the Magatsumi still feeding into it somewhat. That's the thing, right? I think the Magatsumi is still weird, just as a blade, in, like, how the external contract or the utilization of his powers work without actually wielding the blade properly. I don't know. There's a mix of things here, but Yura's probably surviving Summer so well because, you know, the healing. Even though it seems like he's nowhere near the Magasumi anymore. But, you know, we've seen him summon it, so it's still presumably linked to him thanks to his spirit energy. But let's take a look. What? The feeling of my flames healing the Shinichi's encroachment on his body. It's because Daddy is coming home. See it? The feeling of my flames healing the Shinichi's encroachment on his body is suddenly gone. Even though his body is clearly connected to the Shinichi. Because Akimura is taking over. So the Shinichi's like, oh wait! Is that home? Like, it's not Kingdom Hearts coded because, like, this isn't a thing. But I like to, actually, you know, it's like, oh, poor Gage 4. Poor Kingdom Hearts fan. But, it's me. I'm Kingdom Hearts fan. But, this is kind of how I would imagine the Kai Blade, the main, like, big bad Keyblade that unlocks Kingdom Hearts. This is how I would imagine it would feel like if it was, like, going back into the Master of Masters' hands. I don't know. Like, dumb little theory from your boy. I don't think the Gazing Eye / No Name is actually the Master of Masters' Keyblade. I think the Keyblade, the Kai Blade, was the Master of Masters' original Keyblade. I think it was his fault. I think he was the one who wielded the blade originally. And because of that, I would like to imagine that, like, the Magasumi, if it as it returns to Soga's taking over Yura's body, it's like, Daddy's back home! I have finally got that! Like, he's probably happy. Because we know the blades are, if not sentient, they're true realms. Like they are interactive. And they do have specific conditions. So the Magasumi being like, I bet it's excited. Let's see. In other words, his connection to the Shinichi is no longer an abnormality. That is interesting, though. I wonder why he can do that. I mean, like, it's probably just, like, a super evolution of the mental encroachment, right? Like, if it's anything, it's probably that. It's just, like, the mental encroachment on steroids. The idea that he can just, and, like, take over the body. Let's see. Okay. Chapter 105. I didn't even realize that there was a chapter title. Because I almost choked at the start of this video. Let's see. Chapter 105. Transformation. Ooh, okay. Wait, is he, like, his whole physical form? Like, I thought he was going to take over Yura's body. Well, I guess since the encroachment has been rewriting his body, maybe it will be a little bit. Maybe it would be a more. But how's he going to give the body back then? Is this like someone asking you to borrow a fry? How are you going to give it back? Legit, how are you going to give it back if you overwrite his entire physical form? Because it's called, like, I don't know, let's see. Yura's falling into darkness, or at least, like, spiritually. Obviously, the physical world here is just laid out. Samba, take his dome off, quick! Let's see. Oh, it's over. Oh, he's actually transforming. Because look at that. The Shaku tattoo disappears entirely after you see the plants growing around it. Ladies and gentlemen, I think we're friends. Listen, like, even if, best case scenario, let's say best case top of the line scenario happens right now, right? Let's say Shiba teleports in Hiyuki, teleports in the other two Blade Masters, somehow gets both Natsuki and Uraha, and let's even say Azami, just gets all of them fully healed up off screen, and then comes in with them. And let's say Hirohiko just appears out the sky somewhere, fully healed, with Kumayuri, and on top of that, what's his name? Oh, the other two Enchanted Blade wielders, the woman and the sushi guy, they show up, and they all just converge, and they get their Enchanted Blade back somehow. Like, you're talking like, we gotta get this up. I still think they lose. I still think, like, with how strong Summer got over 18, I think they're fried. He's here. He's here. Let's see. Oh, did they switch? Oh, I can't tell. Well, no, it still looks like Akimura's hair. But yeah, we saw his body collapse last chapter, so I thought maybe he did legit swap out with Yura, or maybe that's just his original body's not useful anymore, or he'll come back to it essentially, because we know the pillars are still technically keeping his body alive. So maybe once he gives the body back, he'll just desync back. But that's a crazy. I mean, I'm not assuming he is the strongest blade, but golly, whole straight body transfer. Summer, I think it's too late. I think you're fried. Gee, look at him. He legit. I like this transition too. He's laying on the ground, just transformed, and then he immediately stands up by the time the next panel is. And I'm assuming his body now is fully healed, right? Like these stains are just lingering stains. He's probably at peak. It's over. Let's see. The Shinuchi's invasion is forcing his nervous system to accommodate the power culminating in. No. He's Someone's like, oh, it's much worse. Oh yeah, he even scars, or I'm not, maybe this is a birthmark, but possibly scars and all. This is Akimura Soga. The suit. What voice do I give? I almost want to keep Yura's voice, because I feel like now knowing what Akimura Soga is, I kind of wish I saved Yura's voice for him. Like, I can only go so deep. What? I can only go so deep. It is like the voice register. I want to try. Let's see. A suit. Wielding the Shinuchi. Wait, no. Let me give it a hint of gravel. Still, I know. Like that's the thing though. That voice doesn't really match Akimura's design. But I'm not sure what voice I'd get. Like if I could just straight rip the Madara voice, like the English of Madara voice, I would do that. I'm trying to think of like a good compare. Like who do I like try to emulate to voice Akimura so good? I'm not sure. Let's see. Wielding the Shinuchi enchanted blade in a suit. That's just wrong. He's like, wait. Oh. He's like, wait a sec, I gotta change fit. Bro said, I can't aura farm properly in a suit, but like, a suit plus a katana do it a little kind of hard though. Don't go kind of go to sleep. Oh, but I guess that's the perfect time. I mean, he did crash, I guess, into a shopping mall, but that's some perfect placement. Is it actually gonna fit him? Like, is it gonna be like oversized a bit? Let's see. ... It's unmistakable. His voice, his smell, everything. There's no doubt in my mind. It's him. That's insane. Like, I'm not sure the kind of like archetypal and fundamental fear I would feel if a beat, like, at least from what he's been hyped as, right? He took all 5 other enchanted blade wielders to stop him post malediction. We don't know how much the malediction cost him, like, spirit energy wise. We know you can still get tired, like, run out of energy using spirit energy. But, like, all 5 of them they didn't even boom him, obviously, for reasons of the eternal contract, stuff like that. But, like, to defeat him, to subdue him. Chihiro, you're cool and all. Yeah, you're a real cool guy. I don't think you're beating your uncle right now, bro. I think Summer may be fried. Is he actually gonna have the 1v1? Okay, please, Summer, no. It's him. Bro, actually, I mean, I can't skip he actually got BBN. That's a public indecency charge right there. Golly, you got BBN drop the suit. Didn't even well, you know what? I'll give him credit. He did fold neatly. Is he going barefoot? Did he just walk in his socks? I mean, might as well aura farm. All right. And he just taps the glass and it shatters. All right. The man Kunishigeru Hira trusted above all others and entrusted his greatest masterpiece, the Sword Saint. Uh-oh. Chihiro's like, oh, wait. I know I said I wanted to break the fucking some people. Wait. Yeah. This is one of them like, oh, you ran into the final boss too early. You've been fried. Because you ran into the final boss too early. This is like, I mean, like, there are people who've done it, but this is like waking up on the Great Plateau and going straight to Ganon. Like, you could clutch up, but you may be fried. And Chihiro is very likely fried here. They do not have the manpower. Let's see. The Sword Saint. I can feel the aura. It's leaking through the screen. We got like 11 pages left from what thumbnail. Like, this has to be the thumbnail, dog. I don't know. Future me is a silly fella. I've said certain things have to be in the thumbnail and they don't end up in the thumbnail. Dog. I'm not sure how much more aura he can have. Like, the cape flowing in the wind. I don't even know how he's doing this. Well, to be fair, we've seen him. Like, that is just the power of the Manga. Like, they can walk on air for some reason. But, like, him stepping out dogs out. Well, not dogs out. Like, he's still wearing socks, presumably. Fully fitted up. And presumably, like, it does make me wonder. I mean, like, presumably Akimoto was just stronger, right? Like, it's really... I guess the question is, right, knowing that both Natsuki's brother, essentially, Misaka? Or not, I think it's Natsuki Misaka. It's like, I think, whatever Natsuki's brother's name was, the original wielder of Cloud Gouger, and Sama were hailed as equals in terms of swordsmanship, like, in sword prowess, and they fought beneath it, but, like, he's literally called the Sword Saint. He's just gotta be cracked. Like, swordsmanship and presumably ability. Because I gotta remember, everything we've seen in this Shinichi so far has been people, like, tugging at its heels. He's actually going to wield it. Yura wasn't even a swordsman, and he almost slaughtered Samura and Chihiro on multiple occasions. And he had limits to how much he could use. Now I'm actually... It's weird. I'm actually feeling like a sense of hopelessness where I'm like, are we fried? Like he's gonna have to, like, he's just gonna have to spare them, right? Like, there's no way we beat Akimura. Not now. Like, unfortunately, we're not strong enough. Our gains aren't gains enough. Let's see. Samura, long time no see. Interesting. Akimura, your eyes, you healed them. You look cool. But see, like, that's the thing. That's what I'm saying. Like, the voice doesn't really match. It doesn't. But then again, funnily enough, now, especially like this fit, he does actually give me weird Madara vibes. But that may also just be, you know, like, final antagonist tier, like, character design to me, speaking to me. But he's so. You may be like, Pencil, there's no way you're using this sword of worthiness to scratch your back right now. And to that, I'd say, I'm not doing it effectively because the sheath is not proper. Hold on, let me hold it. By the sheath, I gotta hit a specific spot. But, okay, we're gonna risk it. It's cold, never mind. Okay, that didn't work out, this made it worse. Oh, it made it worse. But, very specifically, Akimoto is so relaxed. And not even in the sense of, like, he's sane. Like, obviously, that's the big point, right? Like, ultimately, he's sane. But he's so, like, he's so human. But I suppose that's the terrifying thing, right? That's the terrifying thing about, like, a lot of people. No matter how monstrous, no matter how devious, no matter how dark and dangerous the acts they commit are, at the end of the day, there's never been monsters. There's never been aliens. There's never been anything else. There's only humans. So, I suppose in a way it's accurate that in spite of his, like, divine levels of power, the Swordmaster was just a man. Akimoto Soga was a brother-in-law, a literal brother to his sister, and now an uncle, presumably to Chihiro. Well, to Chihiro. He's a man. So, let's see. The Swordmaster was in his right mind. We knew that. Oh, okay. So yeah, they legit were just like, we gotta do it, just because, like, they legit were like, we cannot let him wield this much power freely, which is, like, it's understandable to a degree, like, especially since he essentially, like, disobeyed orders, right? Like or not disobeyed orders, because, you know, there's sometimes you do that, but at least from what I remember, if the context is true, if I'm not, like, mixing propaganda or anything like that, because I know I've done that in previous reviews before, like, where I fell for Kabunawi propaganda. But if I'm remembering correctly, the war was over. It was done. It was finished. The original royal family of the island was executed. There was a new governing body. There was peace. And then Akamura, just one day, not in the midst of a battlefield, not in the midst of anything, like, after the war was won, was like, no, they all must die. And he just wiped them. So if that was something that he just did while perfectly in his right mind, it doesn't matter. Like, if anything, it's the fact that he was in his right mind that is the scarier part, right? Because that means in his right mind, he wields that, like, divine power. Imagine if there was just one being who could decide to annihilate an entire island. And not even annihilate as in, like, wipe it off the map, right? Like, the island is presumably still there. In fact, we know it's still there because we know the flowers are still growing there. But imagine a person could snap their fingers, could breathe, and suddenly a whole city, a whole island of people gone. And they just do it whenever they feel like it. Whenever they think, oh yeah, you know what? No, they're gone. Like that is insane. Let's see. He was in full possession of his senses. The Lord simply changed his beliefs. And the Magatsume answered him. That's why, admittedly, that is something I do like more about how Enchanted Blades are handled, speaking of Kingdom Hearts. That's something I like more about how Enchanted Blades are handled in comparison to Kingdom Hearts. Because the Keyblade, while definitely established to be somewhat sentient in like the first game, and it still has its moments of like returning only to its master in later games. There are no moments where the Keyblade will like... I mean, there's still moments in like 2 and 3 when it does like the guiding light thing. But it's sometimes easy to forget that the Keyblade is technically like its own pseudo-sentient creature that's essentially agreeing to work with its wielder. Meanwhile, with the Enchanted Blades and how they're characterized, which sounds weird to talk about like weapons, but like with the Enchanted Blades and how they're characterized, they will answer to the call of their master. They will be like, oh, you want to do this? I will do everything in my power to make that possible. The malediction is a manifestation of Akimoto Soga's changed will. His beliefs, his ideals. That's what it was. The most efficient way to annihilate an entire threat to his people. That's essentially what the Magatsume heard and then answered. If you remember, the Call of May, both, and funnily enough, not the Cloud Gouger, both for Chihiro himself, when he pulled out the final burst of May, I do believe, and then even for Sojo, it answered him. It's like it's listening, it's alive in a way, and that idea that something that strong would just be, it is terrifying. And we do, like, when you think about that, we kind of live in a world like that. MAD, that's not just mad, it's mutually assured destruction. We could do it. Well, not you and I. But there are people who could just destroy it all. Let's see. Nonetheless, the scholars deemed him insane. No ordinary human could have achieved such a feat. Because there's no other way to explain the inordinate scale and force of the malediction. Yeah, I believe it. Let's see. But we knew, only too well, why he had been chosen to wield the Shinichi. The mental fortitude derived from his innate gifts and ironclad beliefs. Okay. Once again, it all comes down to a battle of ideas, a battle of will, a battle of fortitude, and what you believe in. In many ways, that's what it's all been about. Man, see, that's the thing. Almost everything feeds back thematically. There's not been a single Kagurabachi antagonist that doesn't somehow feed into the idea of, like, what do you believe in, and how hard can you, and how hard will you fight to prove it? And of course, we've seen many times you can fight as hard as you can sacrifice everything you are, and still not reach the heights you need to reach due to a different belief, or a stronger belief than you. The most famous example of that is poor Hirohiko, who put everything into the play of Kumayori just for someone to undo it all. Let's see. The monumental power of the malediction. The fact that he survived 18 years in that space and remained perfectly lucid. And the way he hijacked Yura's body. All of these things are surprising, but also reconcilable. Considering we know Akimoto Soga was peerless. Also, he was just the strongest. So even, at least, from what this sounds like to me, he was just the strongest. Even before the Magatsume, Akimoto Soga was something beyond. Whew. Now, unironically, funnily enough, in spite of how much I would love to see like a full power Magatsume, and now I just want to see him sword fight. Like, now I actually do want to just see him and Samura pick up regular katanas and go band for band then. Like, I want to see how peerless he truly was. Or is. He's still the same, I guess. Let's see. Okay, so he grabs... Oh, but look at Samura. He's literally sweating wielding Tobimune. We're close now to where we started. It's already mostly evacuated and Shiba cleared out the rest. You know, I was resigned to die down there. Huh. I'm not gonna say, okay, I can't even say all that. It is just, That is interesting though. Despite maintaining himself, despite holding on for all those years, he was just like, I'm gonna age and die down here. That is a crazy thing to think about. But I suppose like you reach that point after like the first year of entire consistent isolation, no human contact at all, no anything, right? The man couldn't move. Well, he clearly couldn't move, but like he couldn't eat, he couldn't drink, he couldn't do anything. He had just himself and his thoughts. He seemed even occasionally too weak to speak. He was just barely being kept on life support. That's all he had. Nothing but your own thoughts. Nothing but presumably the war and his own ideals playing in his head over and over and over again. Yet he still stayed sane. Let's see. And he still says horror forming in midair, bro. He hasn't even drawn the blood. Let's see. When they imprisoned me after the malediction, I understood. It's unfortunate, but my existence and society's mainstream ethics are incompatible. He's kind of right. Once again, I just talked about it, right? The whole idea that one being holds such extreme power. Sure, you can reason with him. Sure, you can talk to him, but like, it's a matter of whims, right? If there was a Superman, a Kryptonian on our planet, we could do nothing. We could hope to work with them. We could hope that they would listen to us. We could hope that they were raised right and well, or they cared about humanity. But at any moment, they could just... And I think that's the same thing. Ultimately, society exists on this idea that, in the end of the day, all humans are still somewhat relative. The strongest guy you know could still get hurt by the weakest guy you know. He still has, like, regular flesh and blood eyes, you know, he still needs to breathe and all that. And Akimoto Soga still is that. But the gap between him and the other sword bearers, who already transcend all of sorcery just by being sword bearers, is so large that it took all 5 of them to subdue him post malediction 18 years ago when he was presumably weaker. That level of just command over life. And, like, essentially, he is judge, jury, and executioner. He does as he wishes and as he pleases. He's presumably able to do that right now. Let's see. Oh, incompatible. But somebody had a venture where no one else dared. And the day I eradicated the enemy, I fulfilled my role. And that was enough. Or so I thought. We needed a hero. And that is ultimately, that is the interesting thing, right? In like, I always think about this. If I were to ever, like, gain superpowers, or, like, say, still sticking with, like, Superman example. If I were to become a Kryptonian, in most circumstances, I think I just, like, live mostly the same. But at the same time, like, I don't think I would be, like, as pure as Superman. I could probably find a way or the will to do it. But in my mind, I would travel the universe myself. I would explore everything myself. I would do everything in my power to understand all that there is. And like Akimoto Soga mentions here, I would possibly venture into the unknown. We only know a small chunk of our universe, the observable universe where light has reached. I would try to go beyond. And of course, you know, Akimoto Soga on a much smaller scale than Superman, no doubt. But, like, it still is the same fundamental idea. He thought somebody had to venture where no one else dared, and he did it. He didn't ask anybody. He didn't pass it by Samura or Natsuki's brother or anyone. He said, someone needs to do it. I'm the someone, I'm doing it, and he did. No one could stop him. No one did stop him, because they couldn't. And now that's happened. The choice he made since he decided to go further beyond. That level of control is insane. It's crazy, and he had it. But now he's almost transcended that purpose, as now he has decided to be the hero that Yura supposedly needed. And not even supposedly, just needed. And let's see how he does it. Interesting, though. He's already... I mean, I guess it must be nice to be able to move properly, again, without having your very life force drained from you. Look at that. He's already popping veins and stuff. Let's see. Chira's silent like... Wait! I don't think I highly doubt he knows that's his Unk. Let's see. Oh, no. Interesting that the M bleeds. Alright. Magatsumi. Alright. What is this? What's this black point? What is that? What is happening? What is that? What is the black pouring out of it? Well, I guess it doesn't matter now. He's fully drawn the blade. All right. Darn. I guess this is the first time we're actually seeing it proper. I have one question. I'm struggling to understand. Why did my brother-in-law seal away the enchanted blades? Are you really struggling? Like, I get, he may be struggling to understand it because he understands that no one could have reached him, right? Samar literally just said he was peerless. So, no one could have reached his level of power. They did have the enchanted blades, but still, it's kind of like an all or nothing kind of thing. I get it. Like, that's the thing. Kunishige Rokuhiro made a choice. And it's a choice that is complicated, right? Like, I've seen a bunch of people in the fandom, like, turn on Kunishige in one chapter. And I saw a lot of people pointing that out. Like, the insanity that, or not even, like, insanity in a bad way, but the insanity that, like, oh, these things are bad. Like, now that we're thinking about it, now that Yura has kind of laid it out, like, so many people's lives were lost over these past 18 years, and all that could have been avoided if the Enchanted Blades were still apart, if they were still keeping order, if the power to enforce order was still around in the form of a hero, in the form of the sword thing, in the form of the Enchanted Blades. Like, I see a lot of people go against that, or like, agree with Yura. And I do agree on, like, a loose sense, on, like, a loose idea. But I ultimately think, but like, at the same time though, it is true. There is so much that could have been avoided if just people were pointing out Samura. Imagine how many people he could have healed with the Flames of Suzaku. Imagine how many people he could have saved if he just showed up one day at the Rakuzachi and was like, I'm going to end this. And he could. Presumably any of the Enchanted Blades, like you give Uraha, Kumayuri, and just let him while out a little bit, all the underground problems are probably destroyed. There is a fundamental issue that the Enchanted Blades could have fixed. And I think that's why Soga's so confused. He understands himself. And I think that's the important distinction here. He understands himself. He makes it distinct, right? Where he says, my existence and society's mainstream ethics are incompatible. He's confused about everyone else, though. He's like, no one else did what I did. No one else dared to further into beyond. Why did he do it? And that is a good question. If anything, I would still just have to blame it on the possibility. And the fact that, the Enchanted Blades do transcend all sorcery, right? Like, there is no individual sorcerer. I think Shiba stands at the peak of sorcery, and he's still not Enchanted Blade wielder level. That's how cracked the Enchanted Blades are. So I think that's it. Just no one being should have as much power as any of the Enchanted Blade wielders do. The ability to take so many lives so easily. But let's see. Uh-oh. Shiro's like, wait. But I'll give Shiro credit. He's got the finger on the sticky, bro. Like he's up it. He's ready to up it. Okay. Oh, he saw N10 here. I was like, why? What was it, Chiro? But he sees N10 and the new Enchanted Blade. Okay, let's see. Did he like immediately interpret the idea of, hey, it needs to be that exists to destroy the Enchanted Blades? Is that what he's thinking? Let's see. So. That's the answer. Chiro. Samura, please worry about yourself right now. No. Let's see. Butterfly. Please. What is he doing? Please, what is he doing? Please. No! He can live that. There's no way. There's no way he split the building. He did it. He split the building in half, didn't he? Oh, he's fat! No, please. He can eat that. He can eat that. Okay. I'm gonna be huffing straight, y'all. Y'all don't know. I'm gonna be huffing straight copium for like the next week, bro. No. Well, he may show up at the end of this chapter. Please, Summer, please. He ain't be fried though. That was like the blitz of doom, and like he didn't even warp. Is that him? Is this little dot here meant to be is he fried? And that was one outlet. Oh boy. Well, you know what though? If this is running into the final boss too early, but the final boss is secretly your uncle and does not want to actually off you, because obviously Chiro would be dead if Akuma really wanted him to. Let's see. Mr. Samura! hard. Look at and once again, just one application, one swing of the blade. Right. How you've grown. Wait. Huh? Is the timeline right now? Wait, what? He knows? How you've grown. See, you know. How you know that? Wait. Isn't Chihiro 18? Wasn't the war? How does he know He was sealed away 18 years ago, right? He has that contact. How does he know about Chihiro? I thought he was just talking about Enten. I thought he wouldn't know who Chihiro, but he knows Chihiro. So, like, maybe he was getting... Like, how much does he know? Does he know? Like, huh. I mean, that's a way to end the chapter, though. All right. Yeah. Chapter 6. Yeah. I mean, it's a very... But you know what? I think I like this chapter for one reason in particular. It pays off. When we think about it, we've known about the Sword Saint for how long? Like, relative thing, when you think about it, with how early the Magatsumi / the Shinichi, whichever you want to call it, is introduced into the narrative. We've known about the Sword Saint for a long time. And it was definitely like a fear of, at least of mine, and I've seen some others, but mine especially, that maybe Akimoto wasn't going to live up to the hype, right? Like, because he got hype, and Kagurabachi is a series full of extremely powerful, extremely diverse, extremely unique characters. But now that we've seen him, barely in action, mind you, right? Like, he spends most of the chapter talking. His presence, how he carries himself, how he makes Samura, who for not the longest time, but for a time, was the main threat, who had the entire villain group walking on eggshells to the point where they were like, oh, he's not watching us anymore. Hallelujah. We can now go do our actual planning and scheming, or else he would have fried. Like, Samura is sweating in his presence. It's not even a thing where, like, he's like, oh, I could maybe do... He grips up the blade, only to immediately get blitzed and one-tapped. Samura, guy with the fastest sword draw in the entire verse, or like, up until now, can't even get an attack off, can't even move, slashed instantaneously. Chihiro, perception blitz of doom. Look at where Akimura is. He's flying up by a building. Butterfly comes out, he's instantly at Chihiro's neck with the Magatsumi. He's living up to the hype. And very specifically, it'd be one thing if, like, it was just, you know, he's living up to the hype and it's cool looking, and we can lean around with that, which, of course, look at me. Leaning around. But I think the cherry on top is the idea. Not even the idea, just how he's being written. I talked about it earlier, right? Where I'm not really sure what voice I should give the guy. Like, I want to give him a Madara, but I can't hit the wake up to reality. Like I can't do the Madara as much as I could. I may have to study the Madara voice and see if I can pull it off, because I feel like it fits him. But very specifically, how he's being written, the idea that he still has this respect, this reverence, on top of all this terror, on top of all this power, right? He manifests in Yuro's body, sees the bloody remains of a suit he's wearing, and says, no, this isn't good enough. That's just wrong. And he breaks into a store. He changes fits. And it's even the little things, right? Not just stuff he says, right? Because obviously that's him saying stuff, you know, a suit doesn't fit this. The fact that he shows respect to a degree. He folds Yura's clothes. He takes off his shoes. And he folds the pants. Shirt, pants. He doesn't fold the tie. But he goes out of his way to give that respect. He speaks to Samura. He explains himself. Like it's... And notably, it's the idea that he doesn't even hold a grudge. He says, Samura, you look cool with your eyes healed. That's unique. That's neat. And very specifically, he just talks. And I think it's the characterization of the Sword Saint that makes him all the more interesting. And all, like... Once again, it feeds into that horror of humanity, right? like you could be like, whoa, that's a little bit dark. It is a little bit dark, but there is something base terrifying. All the greatest monsters you've ever heard of in human history are just that, a part of human history. They were all human too. monsters of men or human. And I think how he's being written, how he's being balanced around this personality, it works to not just make him a fuller character. He's not just, big, bad, evil, mean, final boss man. But it's that extra layer of unnerve that makes him feel all the more intimidating. For anyone who knows a real big guy, for anyone who knows a real big fella, who's I don't know. I've met like one or two in my entire life. I've met one or two like mean big guys, but like of all the big fellas I know, they are some of the sweetest guys you'll ever meet. But there's something almost off-putting about the idea that if they wanted to, they could just lay anybody out. Just just a backhand and you're done. Akimura has that feel to me. That feel of a guy, a reasonable, in ways, understandable guy, a human with the power of a god. I think that is what adds to the layers of his presentation. That's what adds to the build-up. That's what adds to the feeling that Akimura gives me. And that feeling, chef's kiss. So, if you made it all the way to the end of this video, please, do me a favor and leave a like, share, comment, and subscribe. And also, if you made it all the way to the end of this video, please leave Divinity in Humanity. Very fancy words. Divinity in Humanity in the comment section down below. I want to thank you so much for watching. Please remember to leave a like, share, comment, and subscribe. And make sure you hit that little notification bell so you do not miss out on any videos that come to the channel. Also, you're going to have a picture below. You can support me for as low as $1 a month to get things like exclusive videos, early content, and more. You also now become a member of the channel for as low as $3 a month to get the same perks and more. Some of those perks include the live reactions to other series I have to review, ad-free variations of all my videos, early ad-free access to all my videos, and early ad-free unedited versions of most of my videos. As you can tell, I'm still absolutely butchering Kagurabachi because, like, it nearly got the channel blown up, and, like, I still don't want to risk it. So I'm giving a little bit more time before I go back to the regular videos. But patrons and members not only get access to the Kagurabachi reviews early, but they also get them looking normal. So you can get access to that on top of all the exclusive videos and the whole catalog of ad-free videos I've been doing for a whole long time now. Also, you get early ad-free access to all the videos on the second channel that got with the reaction. They all come up over here early for your viewing pleasure, all nice, juicy, and ad-free. And on top of that, you get your name listed at the end of literally every single video I ever produce, both on this channel and on the second channel, and any other channels that may or may not be in the oven right now. They're being born soon. I'm pregnant. Then, but then, I stream every Friday, 8 p.m. EST on the Twitchy. I'll be twitching everywhere. And if you want to roll through to have a live conversation with your boy, talk about the chapters of the week, talk about anything, go over there. We have a fun time. On top of that, if you want to drop 5 beans for a short video or 20 beans for a long video, the link to my Ko-Fi is in the description down below. And now I want to thank you so much for watching. I hope you guys have a wonderful day. This is That Guy with a Pencil, writing off. I'd like to give thank you to our sketch tier members: Eternal Flame, Red Wolf 4765, Astro, Glacier XZ, Zera, Brandon Payne, J2MA, Guillaume, Pura Ura, Enzo, Swift Strike, Super Flame Zero, Yuki Ally, Striker Man, Grim, Ollie, The Boy, Corey Watson, Damon Brown, Magic, CCC, Romano Furen, Dino, Heath Nelson, Hector Gonzalez, Black Sage, Tim Thomas, Kaving, Julian Perez, Akolade Babatunde, Union I, RXN, Nevis97, Logan Guzman, Dead Meme, Karudir, Reyna, Christian Carter, Jagoda, Keon Stewart, Donovan McIntosh, Sino King, Hamza Idrisi, BNA DNA, Edwin Igmignoba, Cyan, Straw, CyberSage 12, Athen Shear, Antavius Mitchell, Plant Crone, Azo2404, Kriya Panem, Zapro, Weary Exile, Karina Hernandez, Sheesh King, Window Life, and Alex Kenny. Then, let me thank you to Artline Art Tier patrons: A+A, Kevin Encarnacion, Sean, Dread Zoen, Midnight Lord 21, and Wind Draco. Then, let me thank you to Art Inc. tier members: King RTX and Shrimpo the 4th Shrimp 06. Then, let me thank you to our digital art tier members: J Warrior and AZ Void. Then, let me thank you to our colored art tier patrons: Wakimunos and Wakimunos.